Watching the trail camera at the DJC Collectibles studio, I'm Midwest professional wrestling legend Gage Octane. And now, here's a guy that loves a hairy bipedal creature more than most people, Kyle Peterson.
Welcome everyone, Kyle here to episode number 28 of the Kyle Peterson Show. Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the show, and welcome back to Angie. Angie, I hate to interrupt your meal right there. What do you got going on? What do you got there?
Sometimes you just need a snack.
I guess so. You're working that banana pretty good, I think. You know what you're doing.
I always maintain eye contact when eating banana.
Always. I've noticed that. I don't know, but now I'm transfixed. Where were we? But of course, my co-host here, the old buxom banana eater, Angie, over here today, ready to go. Ready to go. And Angie.
I'm a little BBE.
Yeah, that's right. Something like that. And Angie's having a little snack as she goes, apparently. So
I had too much caffeine, so I'm like, feeling like I might die.
Or are you depressed? They always say that if you're depressed, you're supposed to eat a banana. I remember seeing that at a grocery store one day. They had a huge sign up above the bananas. Feeling depressed? Try a banana. It's supposed to.
Oh my god! And it was. Random. Is that for real?
Yeah, and it said something like, cut your suicide thoughts in like half. It was a whole like spiel. I was like, this is kind of strange for a grocery store in the banana section. But I said, give me all these bananas.
Yeah, you're like.
But then for a long time, when I used to have merchandisers that worked for me, I'd always joke to them that the ones I knew, I'd said, hey, have a banana. If you're feeling down, have a banana. You're gonna. And I got my banana Western shirt on today.
I know, that's why.
Yeah, eat a banana. And Angie's going to throw that on the street. It's going to be World Mario Kart out there in the world.
That's what I was just thinking.
She's going to throw that, and somebody's going to slip on that banana peel. Nothing worse. And one time I actually did slip on a banana peel, if you can believe that. I did like the splits in the back room. It was wild. God. Yeah, it was a grocery store. That's the perils of the grocery store.
That's a new low for you.
That's about the only place you're going to really slip on a banana peel. The jungle around some monkeys and possibly in the produce section of a grocery store, I think is what it goes on there. But Angie, I'm glad you could enjoy a banana, and we got plenty of bananas where that came from. Let me tell you, you can starve your depression off with those bananas. You need a shot of potassium and a shot of protein.
What's the other depression thing about your liver hurting or something?
I don't know. My liver's quivering. I know that every day. That's for sure. But Angie, it is episode 28 of the Kyle Peterson Show. Good to have you back, almost to episode 30. Dangerously close, Angie. But
almost as old as me.
Almost as old as you. You got the big 29 coming up. Oh, Angie, the big 29. It's going to be wild, let me tell you. But Angie, we got to thank the sponsor of the Kyle Peterson Show. It is DJC Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle. Or no, it's 8 off DJC. I get it all confused. What am I doing? It is the code. We got to talk to DJ.
I jinxed you because I was like, last week, I was like, how do you keep those straight?
You got to, I got to talk to DJC Collectibles. Maybe they can switch that code to Kyle, but it is 8 off DJC to save 8% off your entire order. And any day now, Angie, you're going to be very excited about this one. I got the G.I. Joe police officers, classified series, that is. I wanted to specify here because you usually like the 3 3/4 one is what I thought. But then I learned that Angie likes the 6-inch better than the 3 3/4 for sure. So we are getting that. And we got Strong Guy and Juggernaut from Marvel Legends coming from DJC. So look for those reviews on the channel very soon. But thanks to DJC Collectibles for sponsoring the channel. Got to give them a shout out. And we got a little follow-up from last week, Angie. Some angry follow-up here. It's turning into an angry channel. We'll talk more about that later.
You're angry or other people are angry at you?
I'm pretty angry, and you're going to know the minute I tell you this. Is Angie, once again, doesn't really know what we're going into here. So she's just playing along. She's just along for the ride. And Angie loves a good ride, as we do
I'm just here
know.
for the food.
Just here for the food. That's not all. That's not all. But Angie, last week we did our top 5 countdown on, what was it?
Food, or fast food.
I was going to test your knowledge here. Yeah. So fast food. So check out that video, episode 27.
I thought you were having a stroke.
No, we ranked our top 5 fast food places, and it got me hungry. And I can't remember if it was last week we talked about Long John Silver's, which was high up on my list. We talked about Long John's. Did we talk about how we got denied there and we had to turn around and go back? I think we told that story. And I wanted to go there so bad, but the line, and you just immediately knew that it was no good, so we had to leave.
Oh, I was confused about the denying because nobody denied us service.
No. They said, we don't take your kind around here. They said, get out of here. You don't got an eye patch or a peg leg or a parrot. You're out of here, buddy. But no, the line was long, and you could tell that group had nothing going on for them. They had it was just one time you look behind the counter and you see the crew that's working back there, and you wouldn't want them as your first mate. That's for sure.
It's like when you pull up to the restaurant, they're all outside smoking.
Oh,
like,
we talked about that. We talked about that. Good news for us, though. Jersey Mike's is opening up around the corner. We just heard that. So that was on our list last week. So we're going to have one within almost walking distance of the house. So that'll be great. But LJS did us dirty this week. Now, 2 weeks ago, I can't remember if we're repeating the story from last week.
They're dirty.
Yeah.
Who's having a stroke now?
Now
They did us dirty twice.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we turned around, didn't go. And I think we talked about that last week. Either way, we went in and we went out because we knew it wasn't going to be good. So then this week, we finally got a chance to go to LJS. And I got to say, my heart was broken. It was absolutely broken. I was just so defeated. My food was so freaking bad. I was so mad. I was so angry. I almost got a hand of those crunchies, and I almost threw them. I almost got a whole handful of crunchies right in that guy's eye. And, it's a bad scene when you got to go in, and the guy looked like he hadn't showered in months. But it's probably just not...
He was actually friendly. He was like...
I don't know. He was on a spectrum of some kind. I don't know what was going on.
Sure, but he was friendly.
But he looked like he hadn't showered for a month. But then I realized that's probably just an hour working at LJS in the back there with all that grease cooking and stuff.
What you smell like getting out of there?
Oh, I can't imagine.
I think Subway's probably the worst. Those subs smell so bad.
I don't know,
so strong.
But I ordered my food, and it was my usual, of course. I said, boys, give me the usual. And they knew exactly what to get me. They got me the 2 chicken planks, the fish, and I added on 3 shrimp. I, of course, got the hush puppies. I, of course, got the coleslaw. And then in a twist, a simple twist of fate like a young Bob Dylan, I went with the waffle fries. I said, I better try them once. God awful. Don't ever get them. Terrible waffle fries. I ate one. Hard as a rock, old and cold, terrible, full of crunchies, and I hate the crunchies. There used to be a guy I worked with, and he would go to LJS, and he would just order a boatload of just the crunchies, just the batter stuff. It was like...
It's so big back there. It's disgusting.
Ugh, gross. But my shrimp was absolutely terrible. They were huge, and I'm like, this is all breading, and I busted one of the shrimp open, and the shrimp was the size of a skinny green bean.
I don't think I've ever tasted such a dry, old shrimp.
Oh, it was bad.
It had shriveled up.
It was so skinny. I was like, there's 10 times the size in batter with just a little bit of shrimp. There was more tail than anything. And I love a little tail.
I could barely swallow it. It was so chewy.
And you never have problems with that. We know that for a fact here on this podcast. So we've learned that. But it was unbelievable. It was terrible. I even gave her 1 shrimp. Normally I'm not, get away. This is my shrimp. I'm not giving you. And then I should have known things went south when I'm looking all over the place. And then Angie's sitting there and she's got 2 packets of cocktail sauce. Oh my gosh. I said, where's the pump? Where's the whole thing? I want the cup. That's part of the experience at LJS.
And they were old too.
Oh, and it was old. It was terrible. It looked like pasta sauce in there. It was hard and it was so bad.
Nothing like cocktail sauce.
Oh, and you love cocktail sauce. And it was terrible. It was terrible. And I was so disappointed by that. And then you couldn't even fit the shrimp in the cup because the cup was so small and thing. So that was a fiasco. My chicken tenders...
Literally me. Just doesn't fit.
It just doesn't fit. That's my problem.
I'm so small.
That I'm too big. It's the other way around, actually. But just letting you know. More on that later. But I knew that was bad news. And then the chicken tenders, the chicken planks, if you will, of course. You thought yours were okay.
Yes.
Mine were cold. I had cold spots in my chicken. They were very thin. My fish was the best part of the meal.
So
the slaw was the best part of the meal as well. But did you get the same thing I did?
Yeah, and then you just added the shrimp.
You're just a copycat. Just copy. Just want to be me.
But except I got vegetables as my side. I got green beans and corn.
How dare you?
You got fries and coleslaw.
Yeah, I went unhealthy. She went healthy. But it was a tough LJS experience. And what did I say? I said I'm blacklisting this place. I don't think I can ever go back. I just don't. I haven't been that disappointed. And we're not talking like I went to Fleming Steakhouse or something like that, or Ruth Chris. Mm-hmm. This is LJS, and they really disappointed me. And do you think I rang the bell on the way out? There was no bell ringing this time. And that's one of my favorite parts is just giving them that ring of the bell so they know they did a good job. Mm-hmm. They didn't get any of that from me.
Again, with the hand slap. I tried to, and you were like...
No, I said, do not ring that bell. There's nothing worse than a faulty ring of the bell when it isn't deserved. If you ring the bell when it's not deserved, chaos ensues. Let me tell you. You don't want to give them false hope. They're like, oh man, those 2, I thought we served them good. We got to do better, guys. We got to do better next time.
It's like everybody getting a participation trophy.
That's exactly what it is. So, that was heartbreaking.
You sounded like you're going to cry.
I was really down in the dumps, and I was like, I was just really sad. I was really just depressed. And then I got even more depressed, and we're just eating super healthy over here this week. We're just eating just a couple of marathon runners or something, because last night, We had to go to Ulta, right? Oh, we had to get some beauty, and Angie's full of beauty. You're my beauty, Angie. But we had to go there for some makeup. I'm sure for somebody else. You don't wear makeup.
Skincare.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, well, fun, exciting. I went to Ross next door, and I saw more disappointment, more sadness. They didn't have anything over there. But
I love how there's always an alarm going off on something there. Their alarms are so...
No, it's just, I was in there the other day and there was some little kid just opening up every package of the toys and the mom's just sitting there like, who cares? Who cares? Not my store.
God.
Just wild. It's always a wild time, those Rosses. But we went there and then we said, let's get something quick to eat. And where did we go? We went to KFC. Of course, the Colonel, my all-time favorite. He never disappoints me. I said, you know what? I'm going to go to LJS and KFC both in the same week. I mean, does my life get any better? I'm living at the top of the mountain at this point here.
The food gods have really been on my side because they're trying to
I don't know what to do.
Flip you to my side.
I don't know what to do. Now, KFC experience wasn't as bad, and it was more of Angie's fault than anything. Angie got the app. We got the KFC app because why wouldn't you get that app? And Angie's like, oh, look, it's Tuesday special.
Another app.
They got the bucket of chicken for $10, 8-piece bucket for $10. And I'm like, oh, well, now we're talking. And that was been my dream forever to get a bucket of chicken. And like 2 times, never having a bucket of chicken in my life and then getting twice in the span of 6 months. Once again, top of the mountain for Kyle once again.
Blessed.
Unfortunately, we get there. We get the. It was funny as there was this guy here, the black guy. We're coming out of there. It was. I've never seen a smile like so big on that guy. So I was like, I'm really in for it because he was coming
dancing,
out. He literally had like 4 bags of KFC out of this thing, and I think he did one of those hop skips where you hit your heels together as he was getting ready to get into his car. But he was just like, oh, yeah, he was feeling the KFC.
Is it
and I was
gritty?
like, yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
And I would have gave him a high five or a hug, maybe even a kiss if his hands weren't full because he looked like he was really enjoying life. And I was here for that guy. I'm like, oh, yeah.
You didn't get out and open his door for him.
I should have. But this guy was really cool because I was like, man, this guy's loving his KFC. This is like me. Him and I are kindred spirits right here is exactly what I thought. And then Angie went in there and they said 15 minutes. And Angie, before I said it, she said it. I better go in right now because you know it'll be sitting there. And of course, it was sitting there. They tell you 15 minutes. It's like 3 or 4. Come on, what are we doing here? So we got our KFC out and we were off on the road. I was very excited. But then another plot twist here. You get to that fork in the road in your life, and I get there a lot. And Angie and I both got there last night in the car. It's like, do we go left to go home or do we go right? Now I said, I go right, and then I take another right, and I get on the interstate, get down 2 exits, and bam, I'm home. Unfortunately, pulled in there to go that way. And at first I said, go the other way. And that's where you always trust your first instinct. I said, nah, I'll go the interstate. And of course, what? Interstate closed. That exit was closed. Could not get there. Had to do the detour, go all the way across town. Went to a different town. Went through 2 different towns. Just have to loop around to get there. And I'm just like trying to gun it, but I don't want a speeding ticket. But it's like, you know what? I want my KFC to be old. And we all know how these bucket of chickens go and all this stuff. The steam in there makes it all rubbery and stuff. And I'm just thinking it's like every second is just a wasted opportunity. And hauling home, finally got home though. Finally got home. No other shenanigans. Just had to take a long detour, unfortunately. The scenic route. Yeah, I guess. The scenic route. And so take the scenic route, get home, get all excited, get some plates out, of course, get all ready to go, get some napkins, sit down. And I'm like, oh, of course, at the head of the table. And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to dive in. We open that bucket up and I look in there. I'm like, wait a minute here. And there's chicken.
You're like, why is there so many drummies in
there? And I like my white meat. I like Angie. You dabble in the dark meat, don't you?
I do one of each.
Oh, yeah.
You're all white.
Yeah, Angie sees no color in meat. No, she doesn't. But I'm all white meat. Give me that wing. Give me the breast. I'm a breast man. What can I say? You know this, Angie. I like a wing and a breast, especially those breasts. 2 of them. 2 of them are better than 1, but I'll take 1 if I can. That's all I can get. But unfortunately, I look in there. I'm like, where are all these drums on here? I'm like, well, okay, the kids like drums. So if we got a couple extra drums, no big deal. Angie likes them and all this kind of stuff. And I think the kids did the classic move where you just eat the skin and not the chicken. I think they were doing a little of that Eric Cartman special.
I think they're scared to get that bone.
You're not. You never have a problem with that. But unfortunately, this KFC, I look, it's all this, and we divvy those out. Angie, you take 2 drums. Emma, you take a drum. And then I'm looking in there. I'm like, these are very small chicken breasts. And I'm like, wait, what's going on here? And I'm like, wait a minute. I know a chicken thigh when I see a chicken thigh. And I said,
and there's 4 in there.
4 in there. 4 drumsticks, 4 thighs in the box bucket of chicken. And I'm like, oh no. And we didn't even get coleslaw because kids hate coleslaw. Angie don't like coleslaw. So we only got mashed potatoes, which are okay. I like their mashed potatoes. But the coleslaw wasn't there. So I'm just like absolutely defeated here. I was wanting KFC and it's all dark meat. And I'm like, you know what? I'll tough through it. And of course, it was terrible.
It makes sense why it was $10 now.
And that's why. And I'm like, Angie, could you
meat.
please read the app and make sure there's no fine print? Of course, there's fine print. It's all dark meat. So that's on us. That's on you.
It was like this.
That's on you, not on me. I was driving. You were app dealing on the road.
Usually it'll say it like on the top header. It'll
So
be
it
like
was
all dark.
disappointing. So the original crispy skin was good, but the chicken was terrible. It was dried out. It was
I thought the
steamed.
skin was terrible.
Oh, I thought it was all terrible,
Because
really.
it was all like mushy.
I felt
It had
like
no
it,
crunch to it.
and I just felt greasy. I felt like I'd been working a shift at LJS. Is what it felt like. So it was a really bad experience there. So that's a little follow-up from the food follies, we could call it, I guess is what that is. So hard times, first world problems, LJS.
Last week we were talking about how we need to start eating at home, and now we really do.
Now we really do. So where do you want to go tonight? Pizza? Pizza tonight? I don't know. I feel like chicken tonight, but not from KFC. So I'm going to put LJS on a long back burner and KFC on the back burner as well, which is probably good, but sad. Two fallen friends, two fallen comrades is what that is. So, yeah, that was a little of that. But the other thing this week is, unfortunately, looks like Angie and I are in the market for some new automobiles. We'll see how that ends up going. So I haven't had to pay a car payment in like 20 plus years at this point. I haven't paid
me either. We've had my car paid off for like 15 years. Yeah. I've just been driving it.
Yep, it's great. And it's nice not having car payments, and it's nice not
we're
to have to pay
like
gas.
3.
So yeah, my company is getting rid of our company cars, and they're going to give us, cash or a percentage of whatever. They're going to give me money every single month, but it's not enough to equal the whole
allowance.
thing. Yeah, an allowance. And they're taking our gas card away. Like I haven't had to pay gas, personal or business, in 20 years between all my jobs. So I've never had a car payment. So they're going to give me a monthly stipend. They're going to give me like 19 cents a mile or something. But in the long run, whenever they make changes like this, it usually doesn't benefit the employee, and I'm in the same boat with everybody else. So have to find a new vehicle. They're going to take my company car. However, in a nice plot twist, they said you can buy your company car, call the company that does the mileage and all this kind of stuff, and I can actually buy it for like $4,000 less than it's worth. So I'm like, well, and it's got like 130,000. So I was due for a new company car. That's the sad thing, but I can buy this one. And long story short, they're going to give us like $5,000 to put towards the purchase of the car. So basically it's a wash. Kind of like I get this car for free. I'd have to pay $1,000. So my plan is I'm just going to buy that temporarily. But my daughter Elle turned 16. She just got her driver's permit.
16?
Well, she's going to be 16.
She's 14.
I know, but she's going to be 16.
Oh, yeah.
And then she'll need a car. So she's 14 now. She got the driver's permit. So I'm going to drive the car for the next year till I figure out what I want to do. And then she will eventually inherit this car. It'll be a good learning car for her. Mm-hmm. And then Angie's going to need a new car when she starts her new job next year. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I didn't know, because we were under the presumption that OnlyFans actually paid you for a company car, but they do not. You have to do all that on yourself. No benefits over there either. But Angie's enjoying it. She's enjoying the fun over there, of course. But
somebody is.
Angie's going to have to get a car as well. So we'll probably do that. And I don't know, we will trade yours in. We got to figure it all out. But we're in the mood for 2 cars. And I'm thinking we lease one, we buy one, and maybe we get a mid-sized SUV, probably a Jeep, of course, Jeep guy, and then probably a car. But we're not sure which. So we got that whole thing. I didn't want to have to think about any of that kind of stuff. And now we got to start putting the pen.
Too much math.
Too much math. So got to start putting the pen to the paper and all this stuff. Luckily, I got a buddy, good friend of the channel, Jeremy. He's a car dealer, so he can help me out with some of this stuff as well. He knows. I trust him. I trust his knowledge. He runs a Volkswagen dealership, so he knows his stuff. So he'll help me out on whatever I need, I'm sure. Good friend of the channel. So yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know.
Yeah, Elle just got her permit.
Elle just got her permit this week,
you know what
so
the
she's
funniest
ready.
thing of it all was? That she doesn't have a signature. Like, I never really thought about it. So when she had to sign on the thing to go on her, she like just printed it.
Oh, like me.
And I was like, oh my God, that's so weird to think that I'm going to have her practice an actual signature.
Yeah, she looked like she was doing some of that. So yeah, that's the way it goes. That's the way the old cookie crumbles, as they say. So wild times, Angie. We're 20 minutes in here, and we got story after story after food after thing after all kinds of stuff. We got a lot of stuff. It's that banana. We slipped on a banana peel. That's what happened. But Angie, now it's time to dive into a deeper dive brought to you by Amped Apparel. Use code Kyle. Save 20%. All right, Angie, it's time for a deeper dive, and we're playing on the theme from last week where we counted down our top 5 fast food restaurants. This week, I thought we'd do something a little bit different, but also in the same vein. Of course, the main vein, as you like. We got another top 5 for you here, and we're going to count down our top 5 favorite breakfast cereals. Of course, cereal, we've all had it. I'm not much of a cereal guy in this day and age, but as a kid, I lived off cereal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner most days. Being a kid, of course.
Your selection's going to be very vintage.
It probably will, because I don't ever eat cereal anymore. I don't know what about it. I just don't crave it. But when I was a kid, obviously my parents were at work. I'd get up myself, from kindergarten on, basically. There'd be nobody home. So I'd make myself cereal every morning, sit there, eat it, watch Power Rangers. Okay, Power Rangers is over. Time to start walking to school, that kind of thing. So a lot of good times with cereal and a lot of good cereals over the years. Angie, any good times with cereals with you as a kid?
No.
No, you didn't have any great cereal memories?
I feel like I was given a hot breakfast.
So
cereal was like a snack for me, which it still is.
You love a good hot lunch.
I don't think ever I would
that.
eat cereal like for actual breakfast. Even now.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm an old man. What do I eat? I eat oatmeal. Dry oatmeal with almonds, honey, and cinnamon. I'm a real old man these days. That's what I eat every morning.
Eggs. I love eggs.
Hey, you love 2 eggs always. 2 eggs. And 1 breakfast sausage. Just one link. One link.
No.
Yeah, you do. All right, Angie, we got our top 5 cereals. And, of course, ladies' first channel. Angie, what is your number 5?
Special K, the one with the strawberries in it. What's it called? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so. I can picture it. Of course, me being a grocery store connoisseur, as we know, I can picture them all.
Freeze-dried strawberries.
I don't really like those freeze-dried strawberries. They do taste better to me when you get a little milk on them. You get them a little bit wet. Like, most things taste a little bit better when you get them a little bit wet, I've always felt. But I don't know about you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they taste weird by themselves. And I've never been one. Maybe you have. Let me know. Have you ever... You just said, I think you did. Did you eat dry cereal sometimes?
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was dreaming. I was thinking that in my other head, I guess. I don't know. I got 2 heads. You guys know that.
I have to have a really crunchy cereal. So that one's probably the most that would get soggy the fastest of my choice.
Okay.
Because I also really like Fruity Pebbles, but it gets soggy so quick. So only really the first 2 bites or 3 bites I like.
And Special K with strawberry, you feel like you're eating healthy.
Probably not.
It's probably not really healthy, but you feel like it is.
Mm-hmm.
You feel, and you've always asked me for a little of my Special K every once in a while, don't you? You always say, "Can you smell that Special K?" Mm-hmm. And that K for Kyle. That's right. For those following along. Thanks, Todd. I heard Todd giggle from the couch, so that's a long way to giggle. Oh, there it is. All right, we're going to go to my number 5, and I, in a plot twist, have a tie at number 5.
Oh, God.
Yes, it's a
well,
tie.
I kind of did, because I brought up the Fruity Pebbles.
Well, mine is Frosted Flakes / Fruit Loops. So, of course, Toucan Sam versus Tony the Tiger, 2 all-timers in the mascot department as far as cereals go, but 2 childhood favorites of mine. I would put Frosted Flakes just maybe a hair ahead, but it's very, very close. And sometimes you catch me on the right day, it'd be a Fruit Loops day. But 2 of my favorites, of course, always remember getting the little toy or prize in those 2. That was a big deal around the house. So I always enjoyed those 2. Fruit Loops cut your mouth a little bit, but Frosted Flakes didn't really do that a whole lot. But 2 iconic cereals still going strong in this day and age, which leads us to Angie and her number 4 selection.
Speaking of cutting your mouth, Apple Jacks.
Apple Jacks.
I love.
That's a weird one.
I got to be in the mood for it, though. I think right now I would probably be in the mood for it because it's seems seasonal to me.
What else are you in the mood for?
Banana, obviously.
Banana, obviously. Well, Apple Jacks is a weird one. I only remember ever having Apple Jacks once in a blue moon. My dad would let us get that big variety pack of mini cereals, and it would always be in there. And that was the only time I ever got to try that. And I got to say, it was always at the bottom of the list. I guess this last one left, I'm going to have it. So I never really tasted the apple flavor in those. It just tasted like Jakks to me. And Jack, my old auto mechanic, is what it tasted like to me. So it was a weird one. But
I was like, what do Jack taste like?
Yeah, he tastes like an old auto mechanic that was working. Kind of like the guy working behind the counter at LJS, but more oil grease instead of cooking grease is what it tasted like. But Apple Jacks, anything else to talk about that? Not really. That's I don't know if that's anybody's top 5 list. Number 4, I could say the same thing about this one. Golden Grams. Do you remember these?
The poor man's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Kinda. It looks like a Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I had Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but Golden Grams, for some reason, I really enjoyed as a kid. And the weird thing is, it's supposed to be like mini graham crackers, and I'm not a huge graham cracker guy. Graham crackers don't set my world on fire, but for some reason, mixing those little ones in cereal, it was always a special time for me. I don't know. I like that brothy, cinnamony broth that we get to. I don't know. I always enjoyed it, and I don't know. It's weird because it is the poor man's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, really. But I did enjoy Golden Grams a whole lot. But now, Angie, that leads us to number 3.
Honey Nut Cheerios. I have to put a sliced banana in with it.
Oh, yeah, you do. You know, banana in. There's no depression, Angie. No threats of suicide with Angie at all with all these bananas she's eating. Let me tell you always got something like that in your mouth ready to go. But Honey Nut Cheerio is an interesting one. And here's a plot twist. I have never had a Honey Nut Cheerio before. I've had regular illegal Cheerios, and I put pounds of sugar on them. I remember as a kid.
Well, you wouldn't eat it with this.
Honey Nut Cheerios. I remember I could see that bee. I could see that bee floating around. I stocked a few back in the day when I was a kid for sure. But Honey Nut Cheerios, it's just like Cheerios but better.
Yep.
Oh, okay, there you go. My number 3 is really old man stuff. Now that was unfortunately one.
Oh God, I think I just.
Don't be peeking. You don't be peeking. Now, this was an interesting one. So a lot of the time for cereals as a kid, sometimes you'd run out or your dad wouldn't get you cereal or whatever, and your dad or your parents might have some cereal floating around. And, you know, I remember having grape nuts at the house, and I'd eat grape nuts. I'd put a ton of sugar on them, but I would eat them.
Yeah.
I'll eat almost anything. You know that. You know that. But
I don't know what you're implying.
You know. But this one was a true old man cereal, and I was actually in the grocery store today, and I was having an absolute meltdown, and I spy out of my little eye off to the side, I saw this cereal, and it is Raisin Nut Bran. Yes, Raisin Nut Bran. Something about those raisins and that like weird coating stuff they put over it.
It's like somebody said it's one of like the highest sugar of like any of the cereals.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something about that raisin and it's coated in something. And what's
more sugar.
No, it's like a breading. It's like an LJS breading over that raisin. But something about it's like bran flakes, which are pretty boring. You put a little sugar on those, but the raisins, something about them when they get a little soft, they get a little nice bite to them. Oh, sign me up. And that was my dad's cereal. And I was like, Dad, give me some more of that Raisin Nut Bran. That's probably the only 8-year-old in the world wanting some Raisin Nut Bran. But man.
That's like my mom. She used to eat that Kashi cereal.
That's I actually liked that for a while back in like 04. That was my one of my workout post meals back in the day. But I wasn't a big fan of it. I just did it to get the calories. But Raisin Nut Bran number 3 for me. We're getting down to it here. We're at number 2, Angie. What do we got going on here?
Speaking of the poor man's Golden Grams.
Oh my.
A rich person's Golden Grams.
Okay.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
There you go. So not terrible. Not terrible. Number 2 for you. Anything you want to talk about Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Did you eat it a lot as a kid?
It really comes off in that milk though.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it sheds its cinnamon. It sheds its cinnamon, that's for sure.
But I'm not a drinker of the milk of that. But normally I do.
Really?
But for some reason I don't drink that milk. It's too much.
It's weird. You always get everything down to the last drop.
Mm-hmm.
Down to Angie never leaves a drop of
I'm never
anything.
doing this.
Never. You love that cinnamon toast. But the only one is you don't like that Cinnamon Toast Crunch syrupy, milky goodness.
It's just too much.
Just too much. That's interesting. That's an interesting plot twist right there. I was the kid when I ate cereal, and I still kind of am this way. I'd put way too much milk in.
Oh, I love that too much milk.
And then I would never drink the milk, and there'd be, and then my dad would be like, I'd get another bowl, and I'd have to go, you got enough milk to make another bowl. I'm like, nope, I need more. I'd waste so much milk.
I do like this tiny amount of cereal, and then I fill it up with milk.
And I like it from that perfect, I don't like to eat it right away. I like to let it settle and soften just a little bit, but not too soft. So you got to find that hot point right in between, or else it's going to be bad news. So.
I just realized something embarrassing I do when I eat cereal. I don't even use a spoon. So I do so much milk that it like becomes, and then I kind of just.
What? Why have I never seen this?
Just like slurp it.
You're an absolute animal. You're an animal. That's the animal moves, is what that
like
is.
Like the beast from.
You're just slurping it down. It's just down there.
Couldn't use his Lily.
You're just like those people that like are in chugging contests where you just. And you do that too with your throat.
I do that.
She does that with her throat. It's the weirdest thing when she's
loud swallower.
When she's drinking. It's just.
Oh my god, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's crazy. You gulping it down. It's wild. It's wild. The suction there is unbelievable. To just. I bet you could get a full apple through there and just suck it on down with that. I guarantee it. Next. Well, Angie, now we're separating the men from the boys. We're getting down to the real list. I don't know what your list is all about.
I'm looking. I like.
But number 2 for me is an all-timer, and of course goes along with the Long John Silver's theme. It's all about connectivity. It's Captain Crunch. Of course, the good Captain. Absolutely love me some Captain Crunch. I even like the peanut butter.
Get them berries out of there. Get them out of there.
I like the peanut butter Captain Crunch, but I don't even think they have that anymore. Now I'm talking not like they used to be though. It used to be just like the regular kernels or whatever they are, but it was peanut butter style. Now it's got those peanut butter balls, and you like balls in your mouth and stuff. I don't. I'm not here for that. Yeah, they're like balls now, I believe.
Oh my god! I think
so
you're crazy.
Captain Crunch though is absolutely delicious. Yes, it would tear your roof of your mouth up, but man, oh man, did I love that Captain Crunch. And I remember Just all that kind of Captain Crunch toys and stuff in there. Even getting action figures of Captain Crunch is really cool. I hope Jada Toys gives us a Captain Crunch figure one of these days, because I love nautical themes. I love Captain Crunch. I love Long John Silver's. I love all that kind of stuff. So Captain Crunch was a big, big win for me as a kid. I haven't had it in years. I remember we accidentally bought it. Like, you bought it or something. They had a big cereal sale, and you brought it home. And the kids, like, mutiny. They almost made us walk the poop deck, I think is what it was, or swap the poop deck and walk the plank is what they tried to do for us. They were so offended that we got Captain Crunch. And then what happened?
They tried it.
Yeah, and then what happened?
They ate the whole box.
The whole box in one sitting. One sitting. Yeah, and I didn't get any. I was like, oh, man, I'm going to try a bowl of this. It's been way too long. And I'm like, hey, where'd that Captain Crunch go? Oh, we ate it all. I'm like, oh, you did? You hated Captain Crunch. It was the worst thing ever. It was so bad you ate the whole box in one sitting between you two. So wild times there. But shout out to the good Captain Crunch. But now, Angie, it's time for number one. What is your number one?
Reese's Puff cereal.
Weird one to me. Now, shocking the world on this one.
We just discussed this before we got on camera.
Gee, you didn't know this about me.
That he has never had Reese's Puff cereal.
Never once. Never even tried a dry one, anything. Never had it.
Which is crazy, because that's his favorite food.
It's weird. Yeah, chocolate and peanut butter is my favorite kind of thing. So if I get ice cream, I want chocolate peanut butter. A cheesecake factory, give me the chocolate peanut butter. But for some reason, Reese's Puffs, I've never even tried. Never had. But I know the Captain Crunch peanut butter has like balls of peanut butter and stuff now. But I try to steer clear away from balls in my mouth at all times, so it doesn't do a lot. Where you are into it, you like it. You like to roll them around in there and all kinds of stuff. So it's wild. Yeah, you bite them. You got a gentle bite, but I don't know. For whatever reason, I've never tried Reese's Puffs. It's never said I need to try this. We've had it in our house forever because the kids are probably their favorite by far.
About like the bulk bag.
Yeah, we get like the bulk Costco bag at all times. But I've never ventured over there. And maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe I'll do a special Patreon.
Let's get a fresh box.
Okay.
We've had that bag for like 3 months.
All right. Well, maybe one of these days I'll try it. It'll be a special Patreon episode. Kyle
maybe
tries
we should try
cereal.
New food next week.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think I like it best because it tastes most like a treat. And I always just like eat cereal at night. Like if I want a treat after dinner or something.
Yeah, a lot of people like late night snacks of cereal. That's not me either. I get a glass of chocolate milk before bed. I sit there, I look out into
a real man.
I look out on the deck into all the fields backing us, and I look for wildlife, and I see my dogs chase the squirrels every night, let them go to their bathroom. Sometimes I join them out there. and I just kind of look, and I just sip away on my chocolate milk and just look into the stars at night.
Always out of what kind of cup?
Always out of a glass cup. Milk can only be drank out of glass cup. For some reason, it tastes way better than plastic. I don't know what it is, but it's just. And I got a Motorhead glass, a Clutch glass, and a Sam Adams glass, and I rotate those three. So the more you know about my milk drinking.
Where did we get that Sam Adams glass?
It's part of a swag bag at work along the way, but. Angie, it's time for my number one. And number one could be a little bit old man, but I think the frosted part brings it back to the younger demographic. It is frosted mini wheats. Frosted mini wheats, the little ones. I love those.
It's old man.
I remember a few times where you got the big ones. They're like as big as your hand. You got to like break them. And that is the worst. That's probably the worst cereal ever. I mean, it's like a huge biscuit. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? But the frosted mini wheats, absolutely amazing. The only problem is choking hazard. I almost always choke and die on those all the time. They're just too much for my throat, and I'm always in trouble.
Get one that didn't get the frosting on the belt.
It's tough. But I like them. You let them soak a little bit, get a little bit soft. There's something about that frosted side.
Speaking of gross milk.
Oh,
the milk's really gross after that.
I don't drink that.
Little threads.
But for whatever reason, that's been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. So I absolutely love the frosted mini wheat. So that's my number one. But there it is, Angie.
You are old.
Our top 5 cereals, a deeper dive. I don't know if we'll do another countdown next week, but they're fun and interesting. Maybe one of these days we'll do top 5 favorite sauces, like condiments or something maybe. You'd probably put cane sauce at number 1. Who knows? But we'll maybe do something like that. Or if you got a good idea, send it to the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com and we can do a top 5 countdown of something like that. So
we're clearly running out of things to talk about.
Clearly running out. Episode 100, we might not make it. No. But this is a nice one.
My top 5 nail polish color.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Now it's going. But give us your recommendations if you got one. But I think we got something else for next week. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But now, Angie, it's time to talk more food. This should just be a food podcast when it's turning. At least this episode here. It's time to try new foods because they might taste good.
You can try a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. We gotta try new
right, Angie, it's time to try new foods because they might taste good. And Angie's got a double-decker for us this week. She's got 2 things for us. What do you have for us, Angie?
Cheez-Its.
Hot honey Cheez-Its. Now, what was the Cheez-It we did not too long ago? Oh, it was the Wendy's Baconator.
Oh, God.
And those were not very good. You know who enjoyed those, though? Our rats. The pet rats around the house, they ate the rest of that box for us.
That has been nice for this because we've had free rat food.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
not
what we
free,
do.
But
We just give anything extra we don't want to the rats. It's great. It's like a homemade garbage disposal is what it is. But Hot Honey Cheez-Its just came out, limited edition, 150 calories, serving size 27 crackers. It's not terrible.
These might be good with your white cheddar cheese.
No.
I feel like all I can smell is cardboard.
That's what I was just going to say. That's all I smelled, too. So there
Which
we go.
isn't a good-
Oh, look at that. Making a mess. Now, I like Hot Honey.
I love how you're smelling like, 1, your sniffer actually works, and 2,
I know,
you're
it
not
doesn't.
like totally congested.
Yeah, I know. Allergy season. Hot Honey is a favorite of mine. Now, I've been a huge proponent for the last couple of years on Hot Honey. Now it's sweeping the nation. It's everywhere. And once again, Kyle, I'm just a trendsetter. I hate to say it, but I'm a trendsetter. About 2 years ago, Mike's Hot Honey, which is kind of the gold standard at this point, they were just coming out in a lot of the stores. And I was telling everybody, you got to try this. You got to try it on your frozen pizza. Trust me, it's a game changer. Now Hot Honey's in everything. So I should have bought stock in all that.
It's kind of like our kids with the K-pop. They really were They really were ahead of the trend.
Yeah.
They've been liking it for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Again.
I always blow it on that stuff because I remember Red Bull. I remember I was 21 or I was probably 19, almost 20. I was getting ready to go to college, and the Red Bull just had come to our area, and nobody had ever heard of Red Bull at the time. They wanted me in on the ground floor. I'd probably be retired right now if I would have taken. I was like, this Red Bull stuff, man, I'm going to college. See how that worked out. But anyways, let's try these things. Let's see what's going on.
Get the sweet right away. I haven't got the kick yet. Oh yeah, it's coming in slow.
Definitely better than the Baconator right off the bat.
Way better.
Still not a big Cheez-It guy over here for me. It could be my old Nabisco bias. Of course, I've talked about once upon a time I was a Nabisco guy. Blood feud with the Keebler people.
Let me see what they sweeten it with.
So I don't know. I'm just not a Cheez-It guy. Give me the cheese nips. I think those are deleted.
Because they almost taste like an artificial sweetener. No, it has actually real sugar in it. I
don't know.
wouldn't guess that.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, you can taste the rosemary. It's got rosemary extract in it. I can taste that kind of on the back.
It's weird they got like a sundae on the back.
Oh, that one had a lot of seasoning. Here, try this one right here. Woo! Baby. I mean, I won't throw them away.
The rats will love them. They're all right. If you like Cheez-Its and you like a little bit of spice and a little bit of flavor, it'd be okay. Way better than the Baconator one.
They only got a little kick if you get one with seasoning on it.
I mean, there's a little bit, but it's pretty mild. Pretty mild. It's like a jalapeno. Pretty mild.
You do it good with spice.
Yeah. So what would you do out of 5 on that one?
I don't know, like a 2.
Same here. 2 out of 5. I mean,
It
it's
doesn't have a strong flavor. It's good, but it's also like just kind of tastes like you're eating.
There's more things I would rather snack on than that, so it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. But Angie, we got another one
Not
here.
worth the calories.
We're getting backed up on some of these new things. And another brand I hated and feuded with for many years as well, Pepperidge Farm.
Goldfish, awesome sauce.
Goldfish, Campbell's, of course. Awesome sauce. Is that supposed to be like Chick-fil-A sauce, you think? Or
that's what I've heard from rumors.
So I don't like Chick-fil-A sauce. A lot of people do.
So it should be kind of like a honey
Mustard
barbecue mix.
Give me I like my barbecue. I don't like the mix into my sauces.
I kind of annihilated this opening it. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I remember the first time.
Well, it doesn't want to crack at that one spot.
Well,
I'm special.
this is riveting.
I'm just a baby.
All right, Goldfish.
Woo!
Awesome
Strong
sauce.
honey mustard smell.
Nothing.
You can't even smell
Got
it?
nothing.
Let's just stick
this
with the mess.
desk messy. I'm going to put 4 in my mouth.
The pies are messy.
It's keeping the nautical theme is what we got. LJS, Captain Crunch, and now Goldfish is what we got going on.
I probably should eat more than one.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Well, it's weird how strong of a honey mustard smell it has, but you actually get the barbecue taste more.
I don't taste anything.
Really? Maybe because you're sick.
I'm not sick. I'm not sick.
I'm already have allergies.
These do nothing for me. 140 calories, 53 pieces serving
it's like
size.
a smoky honey mustard. That's what it tastes like to me.
It just tastes like a cheddar, like a white cheddar.
You drunk?
Maybe. Yeah. They
Yeah.
do got an aftertaste. Nope, I know what I'm giving that.
I'm just going to give it a 1.
I'm giving it a 1 as well. 1 out of 5. I would never buy that ever in a million years.
Well,
You know,
I was pretty sure these are gone already.
You know what's the sad part of this podcast is, Angie? We spend more money on these foods than we actually make off this podcast. So it's a wild thing. So it's a weird time investment. But what is time? What is investing? I don't know. But I don't know. I'm not feeling really either of those. If I had to choose between the two, it'd be the Cheez-It for sure.
Me too.
I could maybe eat a handful of that Cheez-It, but I wouldn't crave it. There's a lot better things out there. I've been enjoying lately Dots pretzels, the Buffalo Dots pretzels. Those
Those got a little kick to them too.
Those have been pretty good. So I've been enjoying those. But
yeah.
I don't know. Any final thoughts on that stuff?
Pressing.
Yeah, I don't know. Rough times. So there it is.
Nothing worse than like your breath getting destroyed, and then like also it wasn't that good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, what do you do? But there it is.
I need to brush my teeth.
That's try new foods. Pretty much a downer.
It might not taste good.
Pretty much a downer. What can we do to save this segment? What can we do? Angie, show the melons.
Just drink your drink.
Drink my drink. Okay. All right, Angie. Now it's time for a quick story. It's time for Tales from Retail. All right, Angie. It's time for Tales from Retail. What tale you got to wow us with this week?
Oh, I just went to the bathroom and realized my dress was on backwards.
Oh, now it's right.
So if it looks different,
Oh,
it looks a little more low cut now.
It was on
That's
backwards. Oh my gosh, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
And in a plot twist, my underwear is on backwards, so that's
And
wild.
inside out.
And inside out. It's
No.
full holes. But who knows? But here we are, Angie. It's time for another episode of Tales from Retail. And this is an all-timer. This one goes back to the 1900s. Yes, the 1900s. I want to say it was like 1998.
The year of our birth.
Oh, 1998. What were you doing in 1998?
Oh
You
my
think?
gosh. Was I?
You were about 10.
Mm-hmm.
So you were probably hooping out on the old playground, probably. Well, I can tell you what I was doing. I was working in the grocery store.
Sorry, my pupils were in my chest.
What are we doing? Oh my gosh. What are we doing? It's off the rails.
Discombobulated.
Tales from Retail off the rails is what it is. But I was working in a grocery store, and one of the craziest things, now I should mention, it is the spooky season. Christopher Lee right here told me at the desk today. But we're celebrating Halloween, and Angie, I can't wait to surprise everybody with our beautiful Halloween costumes here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We're working hard, trying to put finishing touches on it. It's going to be a surprise to everybody. So we'll stay tuned.
Me.
Can't wait to see what Angie's going to be up to. She's got it narrowed down to a couple of different ones. So we'll see. I think I know what I'm going as this year. An old favorite, of course, but Angie's going to be a special spook show is what she's going to be. But here we are, Angie. It's time for Tales from Retail. And this one's got a little bit of a Halloween theme. Of course, when you think grocery stores and you think Halloween season, what do you think of?
Pallets and pallets of Halloween candy.
Man, you're the best. That's why you're my gal. She got that. I thought you were going to say, oh,
Nobody's
pumpkins and maybe decorations. But no, it's Halloween candy out there. And the Halloween candy, of course, has been going like this because a lot of people like ourselves have those lights turned off. We don't want these ragamuffin Ben Cooper kids at our door. That's for sure. But we're actually out with our own kids. And this could be the final year we're out with our kids, too, as Elle wants to go out with her friends, do other things. And then Emma's really out of the Halloween game.
Well,
for the
Emma
most
got
part.
invited by Elle, which I thought was cute.
Yeah, I said you could take your sister. So we might not be there. I don't know. We might be making our own spookiness that night. Or maybe Angie and I'll go trick-or-treating. Who's stopping us? Who's stopping us? But who knows? We'll see where that ends up going. But Halloween candy everywhere. I'm sure whatever local grocery store you have, Halloween candy's everywhere. And what is Halloween candy? You're not going to know the answer to this. What is Halloween candy to a grocery store? At this point,
I have no idea where you're going.
You would know. It is a liability, is what it is. It's a liability because guess what? The day after Halloween, you're not selling a whole lot, but I guess you're selling them when they mark it down to $1 a bag. But you need to get those in every customer's hands. You need to get them out there. You need to get those off the floor and out of the store. And of course, margins are slim in this day and age. Everybody's trying to make their margins, and Halloween candy is no exception. And it was no exception back in 1998, Angie. Let me tell you, the 1900s were a wild time. But in 1998, there was a general merchandise manager. We'll just call him Brian. let's call him Brian. Maybe that's right. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe it's not. And you may know this Brian individual if you've run into him a few times at the store. And he's really smitten with you, talks to you all the time. And it's a wild thing. I've known the guy for like 35 years. And I had to reintroduce myself to him. Like, Brian, it's me. It's Kyle. You know me. We worked together for like 10 years. And I see you all the time. And we talk all the time.
Oh, he's getting old.
He's getting close to retirement. I think he might have early onset Alzheimer's. He very well could. But once he figured out that you and I were like married and like there was that time we were like out front of that Starbucks and he just, he was all in. He was all in. But Brian, good guy. Salt of the earth, some may say. And there's a lot of Brian stories I could talk about. When he get on the intercom back, I could tell you stories and maybe we'll use some in the future. But I'll never forget, every Monday we had our managers meeting. And I was the youngest manager in this grocery chain's history, of course. No big deal. No big deal at all. But I was the frozen manager. And I remember every Monday at like 9 o'clock, we'd have a meeting. And the director would get there and you'd have all the department heads and all this. And we'd sit down. Grocery business has changed a lot. This is back when these grocery stores were powerful. And there was like 2 grocery stores in every town. Now there's like 1 on every corner. So they don't make as much money as they used to. But back then it was crazy. You'd have 20 registers open all the time. It was like Walmart is now, kind of. But we would sit in these meetings, and I remember him being so excited because he got a heck of a deal on Halloween candy. And of course, it's expensive. And if any way you can save some money, Angie's going to sit in and take a little of your vodka, take a little sip of your vodka. You always got that vodka in that cup. That's weird. I don't like it. You're going to get the kids from school, I think. But anyways, Brian, of course, got all this Halloween candy. This is July, of course. This is July. So this isn't like September, October. Are you okay there? He got this early, and that's how he got
early for even.
It is. And it's funny, in 1998, you would get your Halloween candy traditionally probably at the end of September. And nowadays, it feels like Halloween's starting to be celebrated right after 4th of July or right after back to school at the latest. But he got all this in July. And it's like, I got a heck of a deal. I saved all this money, and it's going to be great. And he said, what I'm going to do is, of course, you had a back room in the grocery store. But you need that for your day-to-day stuff. He was buying.
I already know what's going.
You already know where this is going?
I already know where this is
going. So he bought up all this Halloween. He actually bought a semi-load of Halloween candy. He said, you know what?
Semi?
Yeah, just one semi-load. A whole truck.
Oh, my God.
I mean, we would go through it.
How many pallets is that?
12? No. I think 18. 18 pallets. So that's a lot of candy. A lot of candy. So he bought all this in July, got a heck of a deal, and says, you know what? I'm just going to store it in the trailer out back behind the store. We'll just leave the trailer back there, and that's where it'll be. And Brian wasn't always the smartest guy, and there's a couple other stories we could talk about that. But he did the old school set it and forget it is what he did. So he left it back out there. And then, of course, September rolls around, and he said, wake me when September ends. And I think Green Day wrote a song about that, if I'm not mistaken. And they knew Brian, too, of course, from their years of touring. But Brian went out there to get the Halloween candy to start decorating it, and we quickly realized that there was a big trouble in Little China.
Oh, no.
And you can imagine what happened out there. It's the
pies
heart.
Are messy.
Oh, pies are messy. Candy's messy. It's the heart of summer, July and August, and I don't know why anybody didn't say anything. Now, I don't know. I guess I was too busy with my frozen food to ever say anything. And I figured this guy is, double my age. He should know what's going on in this world. He knows what he's doing. But anyways, long story short, thankfully I wasn't there that day because I probably would have been part of the cleanup process. But all the candy was melted. All of it was melted. It was bags, of Snickers and all this stuff. All melted. How do you think you throw it in a semi like that and just leave it back there and everything melted? And, they do have cooling trucks, but you would never do that for that. It would be too pricey to do that. So long story short, a whole semi-load of the candy had to be written off. And then he was scrambling because you still needed candy for the store last minute, having to borrow from other stores, buy from other stores and things. But I'll never forget, this director, this is back in the old days where they could talk to you a little bit tougher and not be feared of a lawsuit and stuff. And I remember him I was very lucky because I was young. I was a young kid, and I had my future ahead of me. And the whole time I'm like, I could leave this job tomorrow, and it's no big deal. I live at my parents' house. I'm just getting ready to go into college soon in like a year. Like, I didn't envision this as my life. But everybody else that was manager, this was their life's job. So it's like you were scared, and he would just run down all these managers to call them every name in the book. I remember the girl managers would come out of the meetings crying. The guys would just be like defeated and all this stuff. It was like a tyrant situation. I never got to experience that. And whenever people bring up my old director, he died many years ago. I went to his funeral even, but I never had the issue because I think deep down he knew Kyle could walk on me at any time. He doesn't care. He'll go get a job somewhere else and do something else. And that almost happened. That's a future.
He knew you were destined for greater things, probably.
That's a future for Storytime with Kyle, of course. And I remember him telling me the last time I ever saw him is like, Kyle, good for you for getting out of this grocery game on this side of the fence and going to where you go. But you were one that got away for our organization or something like that. So that was nice to hear that. Yeah. It was nice to hear that, of course. So, but I still support him to this day, or at least I tried to. But I'll never forget that. And Brian never lost his job. And Brian had a lot of these moments too. They even had to open up a separate store because of all of his buy-in stuff that he bought that never sold. So that was a wild story too. But anyways, I don't know what happened.
A lot of hot chicks on in this candy or what?
No, there wasn't any. I don't recall. Yeah, I don't recall. I don't know. He just went, he has a sweet tooth. And he likes melted chocolate apparently. So
they say Hershey's has good looking women sometimes.
Yeah, and that's a story for another day. Wine and spirits and Hershey's and some of these ones, they put out these pretty ladies. We'll talk about that in depth. We'll talk about that in depth one of these days. So there it is. Those for my fish sticks. There you go. You love a good stick. And once again, it comes back to the nautical theme with the LJS. It just keeps on going. But there it is, Angie. That's Tales from Retail. Now we got an extra special story time with Kyle. Time for story time with Kyle with a twist.
Hence my pose.
Hence your pose. Yeah, take your pants off. Stay a while. But we got a little bit more of the story, and Angie's going to dive into this. We're going to test Angie's memory today. Angie, do you remember, as of right now, 10 years ago right now, what were we doing?
Oh my God, what's today?
It's October 1st. Technically, October 1st as we're filming this right now.
I have no idea.
10 years ago today, there was a prayer circle going on for us right now. There was a prayer circle.
Oh, when we got lost at sea.
10 years ago today, we were on the second Motorhead cruise and the final Motorhead cruise. Now, Motorhead had a cruise for 2 years, and we went on both years' Motorhead cruise. Now, the first one was in 2014. Angie, you were, 7 months pregnant, something like that, on that cruise.
Yeah, so one I was pregnant.
And one you just had the baby.
Yes.
So we went on it, and I said the 7 Seas with Lemmy and the boys, I got to be there. Of course, Motorhead, my all-time favorite, the Motorhead cruise. Captain Lemmy, no place I'd rather be in the world for that one there. We'd never been on a cruise before. We thought it'd be a great idea, and that's what it was. We did go on the Motorhead cruise. Now, we won't talk about that one. We'll talk about the second Motorhead cruise, as that's one was going on we're going to talk about here today, and that one is 10 years ago as I'm filming this. Go to YouTube, search the Motorhead cruise. There's some really cool highlight videos from all of that. And I do have the flyer here, so we can talk about this a little bit, about this one. So
poor little Emma was 6 months. She would have never remembered us.
No, that's right. So I guess long story short, cutting to the end of this, there was a hurricane that came through. Now, this was to Miami to Nassau and the Great Stirrup Cay and the Bahamas. So that's where the tour went. It was kind of like Gilligan's Island, but heavy metal Gilligan's Island is what it was like.
I can't even remember when it was. When it was leaving the Bahamas?
September 28th through October 2nd, 2015 on the Norwegian Sky. A beautiful boat this time of year, let me tell you.
Was it?
But it was Motorhead's motorboat. And we'll list the bands and we'll think of anything we thought of that one there. But there was a hurricane and we actually missed, I think it was one of the Bahamas maybe. We couldn't even go to them. We had to go out at sea because it was too treacherous of waters. And I'll never forget coming back because 10 years ago, you can get your phone and stuff on. Back then, you couldn't get all that stuff. So you were disconnected from the world. And little did we know is your mom had like a prayer circle going for us. And then my boss at work was like, send an email out to everybody in the organization saying something like, everybody keep Kyle and his wife in your thoughts because they're out there in a hurricane and they're not sure, and all this. And
it was just one step below the poop cruise.
It was one step below that, if you've seen that.
One step.
But I don't remember it being that bad. I mean, maybe a little bit. It was pouring rain, like downpouring on us, so you couldn't do anything. So that was kind of a bummer. But they still had the concerts. They still had
I'm glad
stuff.
I wasn't pregnant on that one because I already had a rough time through that pregnancy. Yeah. And this time I'd already had her, so... Otherwise, I would have been probably thrown out.
Yep. So it was rough on that one there. But Angie, let's go through the bands right here. So real quick, I'm going to read through some of the supporting bands. Phil Campbell's All-Star Band. Now that is Lemmy and Motorhead's guitarist Phil Campbell with his son. So that was really cool for me to see because I love everything Motorhead, and they never toured the United States. That was really the only time I'd ever get a chance to see them. So I enjoyed that. if you have any memories of this, feel free to chime in. I'm sure you have none of them at all. Crowbot is an upcoming band. I guess they've been around over a decade now, but they were okay. I've seen them with Clutch many a times. I don't think we went to any of their shows on there. Motor Sister was on there. That is Scott Ian and Pearl Ian. Pearl, Meatloaf's daughter, their band. So we did go to see that. That was pretty cool to see. Mm-hmm. King, an upcoming band. I saw them with Danzig a ton of times back in the day. They were okay. Comedian Brian Posehn. You remember Brian Posehn on that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we got pictures with all these people. I have all the pictures. I don't know if we'll intersperse some of them in this video, maybe. But Brian Posehn was good. I always enjoyed him. He's a big, good heavy metal brother. Fireball Ministry never did a whole lot to me, unfortunately. The band Huntress was there. You remember meeting Jill in the band?
Sad. Loved
Huntress. I'm not a big female vocal fan. Huntress is one of the only bands with a female vocalist I love. Unfortunately, Jill did commit suicide. She didn't have enough bananas, apparently. Mm-hmm. Too soon. Too soon. But that was a long time ago, too. But unfortunately, she did pass away. Tim Ripper Owens, of course, Judas Priest, former singer, Iced Earth singer, sang with Dio Disciples, everybody else in between. He did a special acoustic breakfast. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun to see that one there. The Shrine, I don't remember them. Others, No Words, Butterside, Sonia Harley, The Dead Deads, the SDR Show. I don't remember any of those. And those were all low on the bill there. So that was all the low bands that played once or twice and skipped a lot of those. But now the main event for the cruise, Corrosion of Conformity. Pepper Keenan, you remember him?
Yeah, I think.
So do you remember the big thing about Pepper? What?
Oh, I was thinking there was that one girl that was like yes.
Yep. So she came on the Motorhead cruise the year before, and she was topless a few times, living that cruise life, doing her thing. And she hit it off with Pepper from Corrosion of Conformity. And then what do you know? A year later, they're back on the Motorhead cruise once again. And she's in tow with the band. They're helping. The guest, yes. She's helping with the merch setup and stuff. And I don't know if she's still dating Pepper Keenan to this day. But
she definitely flipped a 180. Good for her.
Yeah, so she was a party animal.
Were they like, it was like a energy drink sponsor or something, like they were like Red Bull girls.
Oh, it was Monster.
Oh, Monster.
Yeah, it was Monster. Yeah. That's where my love affair with Monster.
So that's what she was. She was like one of the Monster girls. Like,
once again, Monster Energy. What are we doing? Why are we not supporting this podcast? You guys know you want to be the sponsor of the Kyle Peterson Show. Monster, we're ready for you. We've been ready. We're drinking it right now. But Monster was the sponsor of the Motorhead cruise. Exodus was on there. This was when Steve Zetro Souza just rejoined the band, and I'm speaking a foreign language to Angie there, but I do love Zetro as the singer. They did ditch him once again, unfortunately, but that was good. Gary Holt was there. It was cool to see Exodus multiple times. Jamie Josta and Hatebreed. I'm not the biggest Hatebreed guy. I've seen them in concert probably 5 times, but they're okay. It's worth seeing if there's nothing else to do, so did go see that. Suicidal Tendencies was there. Mike Muir just I think that was the first time I ever saw Suicidal Tendencies in concert. And it's definitely worth checking out one time. Not for everybody, of course, but I remember you in the elevator. What did that guy say to you? One of the band members. I think it was the drummer. I think he was a little smitten with you in there.
I just remember the one guy being in the bathroom, the girl's bathroom.
Oh, maybe that was.
And I was like,
one.
There was a dude in the bathroom. You're like, which dude? And I'm like, this dude. And it was like, happened to be like somebody in one of the
bands. It was the drummer from Suicidal dropping a
We were like washing our hands by each other. He's like, oh, hey.
Oh my. And then another band there, Anthrax was there, which is great. Always love Anthrax. Now, you, me, and Joey Belladonna hit it off. We were good friends. We saw him at the airport, going to the cruise. Of course, the same road to the cruise, all that. We saw him. He was always at the ice cream machine. So it was always cool to see Joey Belladonna. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in metal, where we did get our picture taken with all these people. They did like meet and greets and all that kind of stuff. And Anthrax was one of the all-time worst meet and greet photos we've ever had. Do you remember that picture there? Where Charlie from Anthrax, he's sitting there looking at his phone. Another guy.
Oh, yeah.
It was the absolute worst. And it's funny,
we were towering over them. The whole band is very short, so I felt weird, like I should crouch down. So I felt like I looked awful in the picture too, because I was like,
well, yeah, it was wild because it was the worst meet and greet. But I've had a lot of pictures with Anthrax over the years, probably like 4 or 5, and this one is so bad it's kind of comically funny. I kind of like it.
Yeah,
I'll find it for this.
It's like a spoof photo.
It's brutal. And then I ran into Charlie Benante at San Diego Comic-Con 2 years ago, just walking around. I said, Charlie, and not the most friendly guy ever, Charlie. He kind of gave me the nod and showed his Starbucks cup and just gave me the nod and stuff. But I wanted to say, hey, you got to see this picture. I think he'd get a kick out of it. Like, I don't fault him for it, but it's a terrible meet and greet picture. They should be ashamed of themselves. So Anthrax was on there. And then Motorhead, of course, Captain Lemmy. And Lemmy Didn't wear his cowboy hat for these performances. He wore a Captain Sailor hat, which I thought was really, really awesome. And I loved having Lemmy on there and obviously seeing Motorhead. And unfortunately, here today, October 2nd, was the last time we ever saw Motorhead. That was the last time I ever saw him ever. I mean, Lemmy died 2 months or so after this.
Did he perform anywhere after?
They did a couple of shows after, but this is the last time we ever got to see him. And I'll never forget the last night after they performed, we went up back to bed. And you were tired. You weren't living the dream like you thought you would. So you went to bed, and I remember laying in bed with you, and I said, man, oh man, I don't think I'm ever going to see Lemmy again. Because Lemmy, there was a lot of rumors he wasn't going to make the boat because he'd been sick and out. And luckily, I saw him in St. Louis like a month before the cruise. He did rally and got back out there. That was with Saxon. Of course, Denim and Leather brought us all together, but it was you who set our spirit free. But I was very excited to see Lemmy. But I remember laying in bed and I said, you know what? I'm going to go down to the casino. And you weren't having any of it. You were going to bed. You said, I got to go ZZZ, I think is what you said. And I said, I'm going to go see it. I got to go see Lemmy again because I could just feel that I was never going to see him again. And unfortunately, that did come true. I went there. He was playing the old slot bandits as he usually does. He was sitting there and he had this big security guard with him. And he kind of had like one of those rope things around him so people would leave him alone. But I just walked up, stood by the rope and just watched him play the slots for a while just by himself and just kind of stared at him and stuff. And, you know, he gave me a little nod or whatever it was. But you could tell he was not in good health. He was not in good health at all. And he died just, like I said, a couple months later. So that was a real bummer. But I knew I got to go see him one more time because I knew I wasn't going to see him. So
and they had a little cake, wasn't there? Like
they did. They celebrated the anniversary. It was the 40th anniversary of Motorhead, I think is what it was.
That sounds right.
Something like that. But that was really cool to be there for all that. I had a bunch of video from that and stuff. So it was a special time. But weird thing was Motorhead was not the headliner of this cruise. Slayer was the headliner of this cruise. So Slayer was great to see them twice. The only bad thing I didn't like about Slayer was every other band was on the boat hanging out. There's Mickey D hanging out at the pool with his kids and wife. And there's Phil Campbell walking around. There's Lemmy in the casino. And, you know, Pepper, Mike Dean of Corrosion and Conformity. We split a boat with him. It was us three. Remember that? They kind of, we went to the Nassau or something on one of the excursions. And we went with Mike Dean. We had a great conversation.
Wasn't that like Huntrix or the, what's it called?
Yeah, they were on there. I mean, there was, everybody was hanging out, but Slayer was not. Slayer flew into like the Bahamas, got on the boat for the Bahamas, did the show, and then we ported again, or maybe we stayed in the Bahamas and they played, and then they got back off and flew back or something. It was really, really weird. Like they basically just flew in and flew out. Now, the year before, it was supposed to be Megadeth, and they had canceled, and they were going to do the same thing as well. But it was kind of disappointing, but it was cool to see Slayer. It was cool to see all of them. And at the time, they said it was the most alcohol ever drank on one of these cruises ever. And it was
somebody die on it? I remember the one guy falling overboard.
Like, it gets a little fuzzy, but he was 14 or 15. A guy got really hammered and tried to climb the mast on the boat and slipped off and went straight down to like the hardwood floors on the boat. Killed himself, died right there. I think they threw his body overboard, I think is what they did.
So many people in jail. Oh, I never even knew they had jail on cruises.
Yeah.
There is a jail.
There was a lot of those.
There was a lot of people.
Yeah, there was a lot of those.
Overcrowding. What percentage do you remember it being like on the deck and then like in that one room? Because
concerts?
The only one I remember being in that room was Motorhead and Anthrax. I remember significantly being in that small room.
So they had different stages. So if you've ever been on one of these music cruises, there was 3 different stages on the boat. There was the pool stage.
Yeah.
And then there was the like theater or whatever, the fancy theater inside, and then there was like a bigger bar in there, and they'd do like karaoke, and all the little bands would perform there. So that was the 3 different ones. So all the headliners played on the
theater one,
both. Like they did the theater, and then they did the pool stage. Except for Slayer, they only did theater. Motorhead only did the theater. Anthrax only did. So I think. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, long story short, some of the bands played both of them. Some of them only played the theater. But they said that you were guaranteed, like that's why every band played twice. You were guaranteed to see one of their shows is what they said. Like, because there was only X amount of people on the cruise. So the theaters and all that stuff, it would, you could only put so many people there. I think the boat would like tip over if everybody was over there. I don't know. But I remember saying, well, no way. I'm seeing Slayer twice. I'm seeing Motorhead twice. I'm seeing Anthrax twice. There's no way I'm missing that. Yeah. And we did get in for all those twice. But
because you're always stupid early. Kyle likes to get there like hours
early. Get me there early. I want to get up front. I want to be there. And I didn't want to miss it. I'm here for Motorhead. I'm going to see Motorhead twice. There's no way around that. Slayer, I'm going to see Slayer twice. Anthrax, I'm going to see Anthrax twice.
Got to get a deal.
Got to get a deal. But unfortunately with that is a lot of time, all the time, there was two bands playing at the same time. And sometimes you'd have to make those tough decisions, but they weren't too tough for me. A lot of those lesser bands that I couldn't remember, guess what? I skipped all their shows because I was going to go see Anthrax or I was going to see whatever. So it was very cool. It was very awesome. I mean, I remember it being very hot. I remember you being kind of sickly and stuff. And I don't think you were having the best of time. But one thing I forgot to mention about the whole thing about this second cruise we're talking about, do you remember this? That we went for free.
Yeah.
That was the crazy thing.
So we never planned to go twice.
We had no plans. And I had just started the job I'm currently at. I was literally brand new. And I just started. I was just starting. And I remember telling them, like, hey, I won this free cruise. Yeah, brand new. But it's like, I could not go to this, especially Motorhead. And everybody was like, there's no way. So all we had to pay was our airfare. Is all we had to pay there. So that's all we... I
feel like there was a moment where you thought you might go without me.
Yeah. I was
like when we were trying to find someone else.
Yeah, yeah, because I was not
last minute.
I was not missing it. But whatever they did is everybody that went in 2014, they put their name in a hat. Like they sent out, of course, they said, hey, you were there last year coming in, and I was like, man, I really want to go. I really want to go. But like just had a kid, just starting a new job. It's a lot of money to go on a cruise, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, man, I wish I just felt so defeated I couldn't go. And then every band had ticket giveaway, and we actually won the Anthrax giveaway. So all you had to do is give your email to the Anthrax band list and the Corrosion of Conformity, whatever, and they had tickets to give away. And just one day I get a random phone call, and it's, hey, is this Kyle Peterson? Yes. Well, congratulations, you've won a full expense-paid trip, except for your plane tickets, to the Motorhead cruise. And I could not believe it. I could not believe it. Yeah, I'd never win anything. So that was pretty awesome to win that. It was like it was meant to be right there. So
remember when I won a lawnmower?
I remember the time Angie won a lawnmower. That'd be a good time for story time with Angie. Maybe we'll do that one of these days. You think you got that in you? It'd be a great story to talk about. Who knows? God. But it was a fun cruise. I've never been on a cruise since, and I could never go on a cruise unless it was a music cruise like that. Could you?
What would we do?
Like I'd be
so bored.
So bored. Like people go
and you already overeat out of boredoms. It's just like you want to walk around. You're like, I guess we'll eat again.
There's a lot of people go on cruises just to hang out. They sit around the pool. They eat. They go to the dances. They go to the shows. Like that sounds god awful. Like I would have rather had a festival on land than go on the boat. But it is what it is.
What about the singles cruises where like everybody's hooking up?
That's what we need to go on and just pretend and like trick people. That'd be great. add that to the to-do list. But yeah, I don't know. It was weird, but we haven't went on one since. And they have the Monsters of Rock cruise every single year. I wouldn't mind going to one of those. I don't think I could get Angie to go. So I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not good with motion sickness. No. I was struggling. I had the bands on, the medicine.
The motion of the ocean, and you were cranky the whole time. You really ruined the trip. No, but that was quite the time. But I just saw the date in my memories, and I was literally 10 years ago today. I can't believe that. A prayer circle. I imagined everybody at home like locking hands and singing songs.
We kind of skirted around that.
What?
Like what ended up happening?
Nothing really. We made it back.
Yeah.
And
were we delayed by any time? Like a day or something or no?
No delays. We just didn't. One of the days we didn't get to get off the boat or anything like that. So I was like, I remember saying, do we get like something out of that? Like we should have got something but we got a free cruise. So I guess what would I have got? But it felt like we should have got money back. Or like I paid to go to the Bahamas, so I didn't get to.
I wonder if people that actually paid did.
Well, yeah, and the thing was too. It's like, well, I'm sure in the fine print, it's an act of God. You can't control it or whatever. I'm sure that was in there. So
they say if you read the fine print on a cruise, you'd never go on one.
And to circle back, you read the fine print on a KFC bucket on a Tuesday and find out it's all supposed to be dark meat.
I just did the layup there for you.
Oh, it's a very similar situation. Cruises, KFC buckets, it all comes together right there.
Wait, I gotta go get Emma.
Nope.
15 minutes.
Don't you be looking at my phone. Don't you be looking at my phone. Well, there it is, Angie. That is Storytime with Kyle, the motorboat. And I've still to this day love motorboating. How do you feel about motorboating? Do anything for you?
I don't mind it.
You don't? Okay. All right. Well, there it is. That's all we got. Now it's time for the album of the week. All right, Angie, it's an extra long episode of the Kyle Peterson Show, apparently, here. We'll see where we go. Chatty Cathy's. But it's time for Album of the Week, and we're going to throw it back to Anthrax, because this week I was listening to possibly the greatest Anthrax album, very controversial, but it is from 2011. It is Worship Music. Their great kind of resurgence. Joey Belladonna's back in the band. John Bush is gone, and I like the John Bush years. Shout out to Armored Saint. Am I right?
You love
Am
a
I
bush.
right?
You love a bush.
Oh, thicker the better. Maybe not clean shaven, clean. But where was I?
Little landing strip.
Where was I? Worship
bands
music.
back together. Yes.
Worship music is an amazing album. If you've never heard it, it is worth a check out. Now, I listened to that album so many times. It was the album of the year in 2011, no doubt about it. I haven't listened to it, though, in the last couple of years and put it on this week. Man, oh man. And I tell you, one of the greatest Halloween songs ever. I forgot how much I love this song. Fight 'em till you can't no more. Of course, Fight 'em. It is a classic one about zombies and stuff. Absolutely amazing song. Check that one out. Crawl in the End. So many good songs on that album. Worship music, once again, being the album there. But I absolutely love it. Joey Belladonna's voice, The Devil You Know, tribute to Ryan James Dio on there. The album cover is old school album cover artwork where you stare at the album and you see different things all the time. Back when album art kind of mattered. Just so much cool stuff about that. Now, they did have a follow-up album for All Kings, I believe, and it was like 10 years later. Supposedly next year, Anthrax is going to have another album, but man, their output is really slowed down. Obviously, Charlie's with Pantera right now. Joey's doing bar band stuff. Scott Ian's in a million different things. Mr. Bungle, of all things. Don't get me started on that. But love worship music. If you've never checked that out, if you've never checked Anthrax out, it is an amazing one to start with. So I definitely recommend that as the album of the week. But now, Angie, it's time for a few final thoughts. All right, Angie, it's time for a few final thoughts. And if you want to be part of the final thoughts, you got a question, you got a comment, send it to the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com or put it in the comments down below and Angie will check it out and we'll possibly read them here. It's wild, Angie. This week I got a couple of threats again.
Oh, God.
It's
Death
weird.
threats or what?
Yeah, not quite death threats. I've gotten a few of them, though. It's amazing how many people get worked up about my YouTube channel that they don't understand. And I think people that are watching, especially this deep into the episode, know, guess what? I'm just mostly joking around most of the time. I'm just having fun, kidding around. I'm just
moistly joking.
Yeah, I'm just moistly like Angie, always moist, ready to go. But I just joking around, playing, having fun with things. But man, some people take my jokes seriously, like the Duke stuff. Like people get so worked up about that. And just the other day I had a guy and he's been repeatedly, I'm thinking about blocking him, but I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I like play stupid and play along. But he said he's going to come to my house and he's going to grope me. Yes, he's going to grope me and I'm not going to like it and all this stuff if I don't start sending him free figures. And I laughed at it. And he said, hey, I didn't get a figure this week, let alone he never said his name. He never said his address or anything like that. But he says, since he follows me on YouTube, I owe him free figures. And if I don't give in to his demands, he's going to grope me. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm just
mental health in this country.
There's some people that are totally outside of there. People threatening my life and stuff. And
at least they didn't want to grope me.
Yeah, nobody wants, they want to grope me, they don't want to grope you. It's a wild thing. I don't know. It's a wild thing. But I think everybody out here watching, let's be honest. If you're honest with yourself, you watching this, yes, you'd rather grope me than Angie. Come on. I'm very gropeable, very gropeable. Apparently this guy wants to grope me, but I get all these weird threats and I always kick it back to some people may know, some people may not know. First ever YouTube video I did was on my collection tour. First ever comment I received on that video was, I hope your whole house burns down with your entire family inside it. That was the first ever YouTube comment I got on my YouTube channel. I said, wow.
You're like, this is fun.
It can only go positive from here. It can only go up from here. It's a wild thing, but it's wild to me. And I doubt anybody that's really watching this is doing it. But there's people that threaten me all the time and stuff that, I'm going to punch you in the face. And it's just a weird thing. It's like, well, I would love to see these people say it to my face.
Oh, no. They cower.
Oh,
they cower.
I flip a switch and it's bad news. It's bad news. Let me tell you. But Angie, we do got some questions this week. We got two. I'll do one, you do the other one, and they're very long.
Paragraphs.
Very long, and we're here for that. That means they're invested, Angie. But Gary Rickelman writes in here, hey, Kyle, Taco Tico, yeah? Yeah, buddy. I'm here for some Taco Tico. He said, I had cousins who lived in Wichita, Kansas, and that's what we talked about last week. It was on my list of fast food, and Kansas still has it, so he knows what he's talking about. And when we'd go visit them on holiday, Taco Tico was a favorite. I still remember clear as day my first trip to Taco Tico, 1992. I was 8. We visited my cousins and we go to it for dinner. I had a tamale pie, 4 Sanchos, and several bags of Crustos. Man, he's eating good in the neighborhood like a young Applebee's.
Crustos?
They're like those little cinnamon things, I believe. I was in love, and I feel that love with him.
My face hurts.
Throughout the rest of the trip, I begged to go back, and we ended up hitting them 3 more times. The soft corn tacos dipped in refried beans. Shit was banging, but number one fast food for me, Long John Silver's. I really think
this is like your buddy.
Gary and I just became best friends. Gary and I are best friends. I'm pretty sure.
Gary wouldn't be. Well, maybe Gary would.
Gary and I could hang out all the time. Gary, you thinking Taco Tico tonight or Long John Silver's? And you're like, oh, we got to really think this one over. That's what would happen.
Spoon afterwards.
And we'd hit some stores. Well, we could hit these stores along the way. Oh man, Gary, come on, let's go. I'll meet you in Wichita.
Oh my God,
he said the batter they used for the fish and chicken did something to me, and then the hush puppies was just
something to me too.
Just an absurd amount of tartar sauce. I could eat hundreds, and that was so disappointing this week on Long John's. My hush puppies were god awful. They didn't have that nice brown.
Hard.
They were hard. They didn't have that brown coloring to them. Oh. And then it says, and speaking of KFC, I will fight anyone that would argue that KFC chicken pot pie isn't one of humanity's greatest inventions.
Oh my gosh, I gotta try that.
Do they have that anymore?
I don't know.
I don't know if they have that anymore, but they had it, and I never got it because I'm always lured by the white meat, the breasts. I'm always lured by those breasts, but I bet it is good. I don't know how it could be at KFC.
That just made me think about the time I made like famous bowl dupes, and those were really good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Finally, do you have a number one fast food dessert? Subway cookies, especially the oatmeal, are crazy delicious. That's mine.
I like chocolate chip. The chocolate chip
That's
cookies.
Subway are good. I like the oatmeal raisin there personally, but what is your number?
You're cheap though. You know, always like, you do really need the cookies.
Yeah, you don't. You don't. You know what they say? A moment on your lips, forever on your hips,
and
Angie.
That's the thing. You got to get 3 because it's like 3 for $1.99.
Now, Angie, what is your number one fast food dessert?
Oh, God.
So for me personally, I never got dessert. That was never an option as a kid for me. There was no, don't even look at the dessert menu. It's not happening. We never got dessert. So I don't even know any fast food.
I guess a Culver's like a concrete mixer.
Yeah, it would have to be like a shake or something at Culver's for me. I don't ever get desserts. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I love Baskin Robbins, but that's not really like a restaurant.
I guess I'd have to go with the Subway cookies. That's the closest thing that I would get occasionally. Sometimes I'd trade the chips for 2 cookies. You used to be able to do that. Maybe you still can. I'm not sure. So there it is, Gary.
I want that.
Gary, you're a real one out there. You understand. him and I know what's going on. It's like I wrote that almost. Maybe there's no such thing as Gary. That was just me putting it here.
You posing as Gary.
All right, Angie. Now it's your turn to read.
God, Mike Cummins. He's Cummins.
Yep.
Hi, Angie. You just blew my mind. No, not your fabulous outfits each week. LOL. By the way, the brown shirt you wore a few weeks ago looked amazing on you.
I don't remember that shirt. Wonder what that was.
I don't know. Maybe that one where my cleavage was hanging out. I think it was like black, actually.
No. Well, color differences.
Oh, no. You just mentioned Firehouse Subs. The first one in Nova Scotia, Canada, just opened 2 weeks ago by my home. I'm going to go there tomorrow on my break from delivering package from FedEx.
Ooh, FedEx. That's got to be a tough job. I apologize each week.
What's the name of your channel?
Angie's OnlyFans. You got to look it up.
You and Kyle are awesome. Mike Cummins, a.k.a. Robot Wars.
Mike's a real one. He's been a long time viewer of the channel. He's a real one up there, up north. Firehouse Subs will be dangerous. I'm always about that meatball, as I said, but you got to be careful because that thing will burn your nose off because those balls are too big. I don't know. They always get in my nose.
Big balls. I've always wanted to go to Nova Scotia.
Well, Mike will show you a good time. Mike's a real one.
Is it like up there by Maine? Is that where you go up, or do you cruise around there?
Yeah, I think
it
it's
right
somewhere
on that
up there.
tip up there?
Or is that that's
the tip?
Yeah, I guess that's. I was gonna say Halifax, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland up there. Newfoundland.
I think they have a cruise. Maybe that'll be our next cruise.
No, I don't know if we're cruising anytime soon, but I think that's it for the notes this week, Angie. That is our final thoughts. So 2 really good questions, and then I wanted to mention because I was
the only question. What's my channel?
I guess
that I read
in Firehouse. Just question, comments. Put it in the comments below. KylePetersonGmail.com. But very interesting too. Of course, I wanted to bring up about how somebody was threatening to grope me this week, which is interesting. I haven't been. You usually threaten to grope me. You going to grope me later?
Yep.
Wow, I'm in luck. Lucky, my lucky day. Yeah. Besides that, I don't know. That's it for the questions.
Little motorboating.
There you go. It's about motoring. But Angie, so what did we learn today?
God.
What did we learn?
I can't believe you've never had Reese's Puffs.
Nope, never have them.
You're gonna have to try them.
Maybe.
What else did we learn?
We learned about Halloween candy melting in the truck. We learned about top 5 cereals.
We learned on a cruise.
Learned about motorboating on the Motorhead cruise. Look up the YouTube video. You can see all the shenanigans we were up to. There was a nice little 2-minute highlight video. Oh, bring me back. Bring me back. We did a little Q&A. We learned about Anthrax and their worship music. And we tried some terrible foods.
Oh, yeah.
Do better, Angie. Do better. Get us something better for next week.
What do we do?
We'll have to do something better, that's for sure. So there it is. That is another week of the Kyle Peterson Show. Got to thank DJC Collectibles and Amped Apparel for sponsoring the show. Anything else out of you?
I don't think so.
We got a question or a comment, leave it to the KylePetersonShow@gmail.com, and Angie will get on that right away. Or stick it in the comments of YouTube video if you're watching. Make sure you share the video. Make sure you like the video. And you know what? I was going to do some giveaways. I forgot about that. But here's what I'm going to do. You guys got to follow me on Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, of course, and then SirPaul64 on the X. Follow me on social media. I'm going to start doing some giveaways. I'm starting to pile up some figures I need to give away, and I got some spooky season Halloween stuff. I'm going to give it away.
You got to follow my channel.
Yeah, you can follow Angie's channel. We'll
channel.
get. You just follow the rules of the post, and we'll do some giveaways here, and then maybe we'll do a specific one for this one later sometime this month. But I got a bunch of stuff I need to get out of this house. I need to clear it out. I could sell it, but you know what? I'm going to give it away to you. I'm trying to be a total lost leader, but more lost than leader is what I'm trying to do. So,
including these kids, we're going to give away our kids.
Give away both them. So there it is. Check out the social medias. Check out the podcast. Do what you got to do. And Angie, tell everybody goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you guys all real soon.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?